Guess I'll have to do some kind of intro thing.
Okay.
I'll just do the usual one. All right, welcome back, everybody.
We have a usual intro?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for the Let's Plays?
Yeah. With the ding, ding, ding.
Sorry, I'm chewing right now.
That's all right. You're chewing meat?
No.
What
Plants.
is it? Plants. Weeds. Beyond Meat Jerky.
Teriyaki flavored Beyond Meat jerky. Out of curiosity, I tried it the other day, and I was like, "Gosh, it's actually not that bad."
Yeah, I tried a piece. It was all right. I'm not... Beyond Meat, I don't know. I'm still weird with. I still have never tried an Impossible Burger.
Never mind. But
it's starting to show up more places, so we should.
they sell the hamburger patties in like little 2-packs. Maybe I'll grab them. We'll fucking
We should do that.
grill them up or...
Which, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You can't say we haven't been here in a year because
It's true.
It's been 363 days since we last uploaded something.
So,
we made it.
So if you say it's been a year, you're a liar.
So you've gone a year. No, we weren't.
Oh, no, not at all.
But no, it's been a busy year.
I was just making sure my microphone was on.
Oh, good
I just
point.
realized, like, we just kind of started and didn't really, like...
I had seen, let me make sure these levels are the same. Well, you're on
I'm on this one.
You're on mic number 2. Okay.
I'm on the
Yours
one
always has
that
to be
is
a little
here
lower
in
because
front
you
of me.
boom more than I do.
No.
Which is a good quality to have.
Nah.
You should be on stage.
You're right. Oh, God, you're right.
You missed your calling. Mm-hmm. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's been almost a year. Last thing we uploaded was Parappa the Rappa, episode 2.
I didn't even remember that.
Well, remember, we were having so many troubles because the delay, it just wasn't working.
The game was garbage. We
Yeah,
couldn't... They're the ROM.
There is a PS4 remake, so we can go back to it eventually.
Okay.
But, yeah, we'll get back to that eventually, as we'll get back to the channel on a regular basis pretty soon. We've actually already recorded our first game back. Mm-hmm. We have recorded it like 2 months ago. And just been waiting for the right time, and in thinking of what was
Well, I think
right
we wanted
time,
to also have, like, maybe another 1 or 2 things to have just so we can have a consistent upload schedule, because like my life has changed drastically to where I actually have a life now, which is different. And I now have to kind of like work on a schedule.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
Yeah. And
as opposed to my old life where I could just be like, yeah, I'm not doing anything like every day. So sure.
Come on over.
Let's do that thing.
I remember when I'd be like, are you around? You'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, of course I am.
But no, now things are very different. In fact, so originally, okay, so the reason this video is going up today and why we didn't wait for the exact 1 year mark is because today, the day you're hearing this is actually the day before, but when we're recording, it's been 20 years since Chad and I first met, which we always remember because the video camera was going, it was recording, one of my old high 8mm ones. And it had the date, the timestamp on the bottom, so I always remembered it was April 1st. The night of April 1st, where our mutual friend Brian, he had been saying to me for a while, like, you gotta be Chad, he's hilarious, and he does movies too, and I think he was probably doing the same to you on the other end.
Yeah. No, my buddy Russ, I went to school with him, you gotta meet him.
And then,
And then we met, and then we ousted Brian.
Yeah. We'll get all into that. That's which is sad because Brian's actually doing great right now.
That's good.
I'm so happy for him. Last time I saw him, he looked healthier than probably more than he probably hasn't ever looked as healthy as he does now. When he was a
Like
kid,
healthier than us.
Yeah. Yes, actually, much healthier than us. Still wearing that damn eye patch.
Doesn't bode well for us. Like, we didn't get into drugs and like let our lives fall apart, and we're just falling apart now.
Yeah, okay, real quick. I am the heaviest I've ever been. It's a big part of why I haven't been very excited to do a lot of on-camera stuff. I've got to get that under. I hit a new high for me.
Which is?
297. That's when I was like, all right.
Hear me out.
Oh, no. I was going to say, I thought I was heavier than you.
No, you are. I said, hear me out.
Damn it.
Go the extra 3. Just to get there.
Look,
just to say you've done it.
April 9th, my meals show up where I start to eat them. Specifically, I have about 10 days to hit 300. So, I'm not saying I won't.
Just so you've done it.
I'm not saying I won't. But, yeah, so anyway, it's been
If there's anything in my life that I've been more proud of than hitting 300 pounds, I couldn't name it.
Did you ever get to 400? I couldn't remember.
No, but
What was it that one time?
at my heaviest, when I moved to Maine,
Yes.
because it was the dead of winter, and you literally like you didn't want to go outside because it was negative 25, negative 30 degrees, and I was also just like depressed and just like miserable. I left Jersey in just a not great mindset, and I got up to didn't even realize it was happening. Didn't feel it on me, didn't see it on me. I hit 385 at my heaviest. And then it wasn't until I moved, like I saw 385. I'm like, all right, I'm 385. And then I moved to California.
Yeah.
And just from like moving around a little bit, start losing weight. And I start looking at pictures of me from Maine only a couple months prior. And I was like, oh my God, like I got big.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, like, when I hit 385, like, you'll see some people when they get like fatter and they look like it might sound insensitive, but I was a fat guy. I'll say it. They look like a fat person. They hold themselves fat. You can hear the labored breathing. They're having to exert more energy moving. And I didn't really like experience any of that I knew of until I didn't experience it anymore. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then when I lost the weight this most recent time, when I dropped down from 340, 350 to 275.
That was crazy.
Yeah. That's when my legs were all ripped and shit. That was... Which
Chad's calves had so many veins on them.
It was insane.
Because all you did was walk all day.
And now I'm back to where, like, I'm now at 285.
Okay, yeah.
Or 280. I hover at 280.
Yeah, that's a decent spot.
And it basically goes from 275 to 285, and I fluctuate in there. But I did start a new job where I'm walking a lot more now. I'm just constantly moving. So as soon as I can kind of get some things under control, I'm sure it'll be a little better. But
yeah, I gotta go. I'm going Bistro MD. That's what's gonna try and get me down, because I need to lose at least 70 pounds. So it's preferably 90 pounds.
It's doable.
I know it's doable. I did it once. I lost 70 pounds one time.
I did
when
I started doing the walking, it was 85 pounds that I lost.
Yeah.
And it's very doable.
It'll but that's where we're at health-wise. Where are we at in our lives? Well, lots happened last year. I will say to anybody who's made their way over from the Sunday channel, who was watching my personal channel, the reason why I haven't done anything there is because I got super busy with 2 different things last year, and then getting back to it is just the difficult part. Yeah. Eventually it'll happen. I've gone well over a year on that channel since putting something up. But that was during a time where last year my stepmother passed, and I was constantly at my father's house helping out with stuff because it was just him.
But it's not just that, though. You also became...
But that's the next thing I was going to say. So, like, that already was taking up a lot of the time where I would normally do that. It actually was happening at the same time that I was doing that. I was also house hunting for, let's see, it was about a 6-month thing. And we offered on, I think this was the 8th house that we offered on, and then they accepted, and I now own a home.
Yeah.
I own a house. That's where we are recording this from, in the dining room, which is just a mess. It's still in that things are moving in period, which I kind of hoped would be quicker than this, but oh well.
Whatever.
It was a rough winter.
Who are you trying to impress?
What, are we going to the opera?
Yeah.
That's something Christine heard the other day. It's just made me laugh since then.
What are we going to the opera?
It doesn't even make sense in this.
No.
It's a joke about wearing dirty clothes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just wanted to say it.
And then
I bought a house, and Chad lives here, and in one of the bedrooms downstairs, and that's where I'm at in life.
I'm the downstairs dweller.
Now. Yeah. Chad is
now I'm I don't even know, because all the while that was happening for you, I was establishing a relationship with a new person who has children, which is new for me as well. So now I've been essentially, like, without the title, husband/stepfather.
Right. Yeah, you get along great with the kids and
we
everything,
jumped in like immediately.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at. I've switched jobs now, just recently, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot going on the past year.
Yeah, so that's a big part of why we just, after a while, it was like, all right, we can come back to this eventually. And also, the pandemic just kept going and going.
Oh, yeah, we got COVID.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I gave everybody COVID.
Chad brought COVID home. And went through the house.
Which, to be fair, my old job.
That was the Omicron variant, too. That got around to everybody, it seemed like.
It did, but I just found it funny. My old job, I was around so many people. And the first half of the pandemic, mask on, everything. It was just like full blown, taking care of everything. But at some point, like where I worked, all right, I'll just say it because it doesn't matter. I worked at Home Depot.
Yeah, now you all know.
I was a supervisor at Home Depot, but before that, I was doing a lot of like heavy lifting. I was working in the flooring department. So I was moving flooring tile, hardwood flooring, just very heavy stuff. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't even care about the mask anymore because I'm waterboarding myself. I'm sweating into it, and I'm drowning in my own sweat.
Yeah.
So I would just keep the mask down by my chin until people came up, then put it up, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't the safest at Home Depot.
Right.
Nothing. One day.
Yeah. It was right away at your new job that happened.
Because they said it's a 5-day incubation period.
Yeah.
5 days after my first day is when I got it.
Yeah.
One day at my new job. Mask up.
Yep.
Because it's a new job and I'm trying to play by the rules.
I mean,
yeah. Mask up, sanitizing everything. But
yeah,
2 of the managers that were there had just gotten back from their 5-day leave for COVID.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. And then Chad got it, and you had it pretty bad, but not.
Well, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, in that you lost your taste.
No, what it was the first. It started out as just like the problem with the COVID shit. All the symptoms I have on a regular basis because I've got
Yes.
terrible sinus issues. I've got sleep apnea. Like I've got all these things that like everything that they tell you that comes with this, aside from the fever, I usually have. So I started getting post nasal drip, and I'm like, oh god damn it, I'm getting sick. This sucks. And then the following day, I go to work, and within 10, 15 minutes of being there, I'm like, hey, I don't feel great. And they took my temperature, it's fine. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go to urgent care, just get it tested, just get it out of the way. And I go to urgent care. This is 20 minutes later. They scan me, they're like, well, you have a fever. I'm like, uh-huh. And they're like, yeah, you've got COVID. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
I get home, and within an hour, full-blown fever, body aches, chills. It was like every symptom. And the giveaway was I had I had diarrhea like crazy.
Yeah.
The morning that I found out, that was the one that was the thing that kind of clued me in, like maybe something else is going on here. I could not stop shitting, and it was just violent shitting.
Yeah.
I'm like, something's going on. And that was the worst part of it. Like the fever and everything wasn't great, but it only lasted maybe 36 hours. And then 2 days after that, I was taking a shower. I'm like, I don't smell my soap.
Yeah.
Huh.
I remember when that hit you, because we thought you had gotten past it, because I remember you were like, oh, my symptoms are better now.
It was literally just like with 36 hours, and then I'm fine.
We're like, oh, good, you got through
fatigue. I had fatigue. But it was whatever. Fatigue you can kind of like push through essentially. But then all of a sudden I couldn't smell, and then I didn't taste anything. And I'm like, oh no, I'm one of them.
Yep.
And then my girlfriend had the same thing happen. So it was like 3 weeks where we didn't have any taste or smell, which, to be fair, I mean, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Because I think my cousin's kid, when they got it last year, I think it's been 6 or 7 months. I believe she said he still doesn't have taste or smell.
I think that if that was the Delta one, I remember they said that one hit people real hard.
Yeah.
So it's probably from that.
Yeah,
we got lucky.
We got the easy sauce one.
Yeah, like Christine and I both got it. She got it the day before I got it, and or started showing symptoms the day before I did. And I'm just glad that didn't happen to us.
Yeah, it was literally just like 2 days of feeling like shit. And then it was like, whatever.
And it sucked too because I remember that was my birthday weekend. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to go to
Happy
my dad's. I was supposed to go to my dad's and watch the Super Bowl, which has been like our yearly tradition.
Yeah.
And this year just happened to be on my birthday, and I had to call like the day before I was supposed to leave and be like, "Hey, I can't come this weekend. I have COVID." And you always have it. I don't know about you. Probably not you. It's just something that I think comes from growing up in my household. But anytime I have to cancel something last second, there's always a little child part of me that goes, "They're gonna think I'm lying." Because that's just kind of the reaction I'd always get, not from my father growing up, but
really?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was like, oh no, but he understood. And also, by the time, as I call him, I'm like, hey, so I think I probably have COVID. I went out, I got all the stuff we were gonna need around the house, because I'm like, well, if it's gonna hit me, I better get these things. And the next morning, I woke up and was just in awful shape.
Yeah,
awful shape. And for us, it was like a 3 or 4 days of just feeling like shit, and just laying on the couch, like.
I felt like shit for 3 or 4 days, but it like the actual like. The fever. That's the fever and the body aches is the one that I equate with like the worst of it.
Yeah.
Because after that, it just felt like a cold. It felt like just a really shitty cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thankfully it wasn't. Again, like I've felt worse with the flu.
It wasn't the intensity; it was the quickness. It was how it was how fast it hit after the first symptom. Going like, I have postnasal drip. Well, I'm shitting. I have COVID. It was boom, 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 like 1, 2, 3, so fast.
And it's probably we got the vaccine. We were
both vaccinated.
We didn't get the booster.
I was going to get the booster, and then I had to go on antibiotics for something. I can't remember what it was, but I couldn't get the booster because I was on antibiotics.
Right.
And then just you don't think about it, and then I'm going by with my life, and who knew?
It's like, and that's kind of what was going on with us. We're like, we'll get to it.
Mm-hmm. But then honestly, I heard people that did have the booster who basically had the same thing we had.
I'm just glad we had something, because that could have been bad. But okay, so that's what happened. That was our COVID experience for the year. What else has been going on? Let's see. As it's been a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
What we should probably now get into, as it is the 20-year anniversary of us meeting at Brick Plaza, of course.
Oh yeah, with Brick Plaza, for those of you who don't know. In Brick, New Jersey.
Yeah, look it up.
There are multiple little shopping plazas, all in direct.
You know what? I'm gonna look something.
The direct vicinity of each other.
Yes.
But the kind of central one, the biggest one, we just refer to. Actually, no, it is referred to as Brick Plaza.
That's the name.
Yeah,
on the sign.
It actually has the sign that says Brick Plaza, and that's where we first met. But also used to shoot I'd say the bulk.
Yeah, all our early stuff,
our short comedy stuff. Was shot there because it was an easy place for all of us to meet at
late
absurd
at night. It was
hours
empty.
of the night. Because we all had, like, granted, we were all 18, 19, 20, but we all had jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I was working full-time jobs in high school. Like, I stopped going to school and I just started working full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I was working at Funkoland and then the movie theater, and then I started working at Jersey Farms, convenience store, and I was just constantly working. So the only time we were all ever around together was usually after 10 o'clock. And we didn't really have like a house to shoot at. Like, we did occasionally shoot at Tuck's house, our buddy Tuck.
Yeah, we would do that from time to time.
But we just needed a place that everybody could kind of congregate, and it became Brick Plaza because they had lights, and they also had bathrooms that we could go use. They had food.
Well, we would
and
also
everything.
always go to the Applebee's there beforehand. We'd have these massive groups at Applebee's that all the wait staff wanted. It's not like that usual big group of people when you show up at a restaurant and everyone's like, oh, they're loud and obnoxious and they're awful and we hate them. And we were respectful and we tipped like crazy people, and all the wait staff loved us.
Yeah, we used to get free shit all the time too.
Yeah. Oh, I missed some of those people. I wonder where they're all
Jill,
at.
Tara. What was it? Lana.
Yes, the Russian woman.
There was the Russian girl, Lana. There was this Russian waitress who our buddy Jim, the first time she served us. And she's this really fucking cute.
She was
really cute Russian girl with the accent and everything. Yeah. Before Russia became like,
our sworn enemy, of course.
Yeah. But the first thing Jim says, our buddy Jim tends to he'll speak without thinking. And he'll try to say things that shock people. Like, intentionally try to say things that will either upset or shock somebody. But this one, it came out so quickly that I don't even think it was him trying to shock anybody. It literally just looked like his brain went, yeah. And he couldn't stop himself. He just goes, Lana, that's anal backwards. Yeah. And she just goes, huh? And I'm like, oh my God, Jim. Oh my God. This really cute girl just walks up to take our order and you just told her that her name is anal spelled backwards.
I can see that though. That's Jim for you.
But you know what? In hindsight, it's pretty goddamn funny.
It is anal backwards. It's funny. You can't say it isn't.
Funny as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, so we would all meet there, we'd eat there, and then we'd shoot out in the parking lots. And we came up with our first thing we ever did. First night.
The first night was just
us just messing around. Because what I used to do with Brian and our friend Kurt was we would just go around I would hold the camera and they would go around being crazy people. Now that of course became kind of a thing online where kids would record themselves being stupid in public, and obviously people around them are annoyed and they think it's funny. We were those kids, but nobody was doing it then. Yeah. Like we had, again, this is a very old, only people who saw it, we thought it was crazy in the neighborhood. Everybody gathered around, come on over, watch our VHS tape of us messing around in the area.
The only places that you ever really heard about this, like, it's not that it didn't happen other places, but the only places you really heard about this kind of stuff happening was like cities that were like
CKY tapes. You might see stuff like that on CKY.
Yeah, but like New York and Los Angeles, sure, people run around cameras and do things because they all went to school there and they're trying to do a thing. Whereas we were just like people that wanted to make movies and had kind of an idea of how to get it out to people.
Yeah.
Because like back in the early 2000s, like now we have YouTube where everybody can make anything and just put it out on the internet and everybody sees it. But at the time, the only way that we could do anything was to, you had to have a website of your own.
Oh, yeah.
Upload big video files.
And that
people had to go and download them to watch them. So the fact, like, it's already an ask of people. Like, oh, go download this 500 megabyte file so you can watch us.
It was back then, we would compress it to the point where it's like, download this 20 megabyte WMV file. It was being terrible quality.
Yeah.
And then we put it all on DVD so people could see it in VCD quality.
Ooh.
So we could get that out there. Because DVD files, look, I would have done it, but it was too big for my hard drive back then.
Even with special features like bloopers.
Yeah. You know, I do have a copy of that original. I found it at my dad's last time. One of the last times I was down there.
I gave you mine, didn't I? When last time we were up in Maine? I had a copy of the Immortal Dog
probably in a
DVD.
Box somewhere.
I had the Immortal Dog DVD that was, I think it was like the first 3 or 4 seasons. It was the first, I'm
talking about the one that was just season 1. That also had the Baron on it.
No, that was the first big thing we did.
So, all right. So it's April 1st, 2002. Brian, as my camera's rolling, he's like, all right, oh, Russ, this is Chad. Chad, this is Russ. Oh, hey. Because we both, I'm sure, we're like, oh, so this guy does movies too. Right.
Well, it's also because, like, how often do you find a friend who's like, oh, you got to meet my friend. They're hilarious.
Yes.
You would love my friend. How often does that actually work out?
It often goes very badly.
99% of the time.
I've
never been introduced to somebody through a mutual friend who they said I would love and been like, oh, I can't wait to talk to this person again.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
So this was just a fluke.
But and also keep in mind, because there was that buffer at first, because when we would all get together to do stuff, it was mainly you, me, and Brian, and then we had the cast
I think
members.
The first night, even my ex-girlfriend was with it. Like,
she was.
She was there.
And I hated her at the time. She was.
Oh, and I don't blame you. She was a nut.
The fact that she is as mature and as good a mother as she has been. It blows me away, because the first time I met her, it was when she was a hyperactive 16-year-old, I think, at Brian's play. Like, she was over Brian's once, and I was just like, what is this?
Yeah, she had a different energy than us.
Yeah.
She was very, very lively.
Yeah. But it was, we drove around, we filmed some stuff. That was the night that you...
Just silly stuff. No, nothing scripted. It was just us goofing around.
Yeah, I still remember, you just started randomly saying, I am the devil of cheese in various languages, and Brian just started crying, laughing.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? While you're just saying each thing. That's Portuguese for
I am the devil of cheese. Yeah, for some reason that was a thing that we did in high school. Me and my buddies Matt and Glenn. Glenn, who went off. I think you met Glenn. Glenn went off to become a Marine.
Yes, Glenn. Yeah.
Matt, you never met. Matt actually just recently passed away.
Oh, okay.
And he had kind of fallen off the rails. I hadn't talked to him in years. But Matt was like one of my best friends in high school, and we were he and I were the ones that would go to the mall with a camera and record ourselves doing ridiculous shit.
Was he around for the vomit videos?
That's Matt.
That's Matt. Okay.
Oh yeah. You have seen Matt
I've
because
seen
Matt.
Do you have that online? You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt and
as
Glenn.
we're talking about things, I'll try and put some stuff up on screen. Maybe.
Yeah. So Matt and Glenn are both in that video, and Glenn and I decided this was sophomore year or something. Everybody went to their respective language classes, and we all learned the phrase, "I am the devil of cheese." And then we also started looking it up online just because it was like we each learned weird sayings. I remember one of the ones that Matt brought from Spanish was it was "Soy el Dios de queso," which is "I am the devil of cheese," and then "Me gusto vomito atún," I think is "I am the devil of cheese. I like to vomit the tuna."
Oh, right. I remember that now.
And I was just like, what the hell is this? So we all just collected them together. We wrote them all down on a piece of paper. We're like, oh, yeah, well, this is how to say "I am the devil of cheese" in virtually every spoken language on the planet.
So that was one thing. What else happened that night? There was some stuff.
I have no memory.
Yeah, that's even that one I haven't seen in so long.
Yeah, maybe if we pulled up the Rusty Show video and like watched it, it might trigger something. But
if
honestly,
I could find it, it's somewhere in my.
It's so
boxes
far
somewhere.
removed from my head. Like,
Yeah.
I remember certain things. Like my memory's shit. My memory is not great. It also takes things to trigger memories for me. I can't just recall memories anymore.
I should look for that tape. That would be if I could find that. My God! And then if we went through it and like commented on it.
I have vague memories of when we shot the Baron.
Yeah. Like
I remember sitting outside of the pool at Kristen's. I remember that.
yes,
I remember the first episode.
that's when we came over my house. And
Yeah,
we
I remember
shot
the
it around
first
my
episode we
neighborhood.
did. When we did the action scene.
So real quick, we should tell people the Baron was this fake talk show we did with Brian putting this mask on,
Which was it was
something he already was doing.
No. It started with me and him. We went to a party store. We went to like Party City or Party Fair, and we were just it was one of the days that Brian and I used to not go to school.
Yes, and that's another thing we'll get into too. Because
We used to meet up at I would go to homeroom just to like say hi to my friends. I would also get a ride from my buddy Rob to get to school. Go say hi to everybody in the hallways, and then I would just leave because I wanted nothing to do with that school. So I would walk down the street to the closest the McDonald's, and Brian would meet up with me because he wanted nothing to do with the school.
Yeah.
And we would just go around and do weird shit all day. Either recording it or just doing it. Like just some of the weirdest moments of my life.
Yeah.
Like the put a man to sleep with my bare hands.
That's right.
Conversation, which we've mentioned that many times on the channel. I'm sure it'll come up again, but there have been many things that came from me and Brian just hanging out while we were supposed to be in school. And one of them was we went to Party Fair. It was probably like 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. Just looking at masks, and we find this mask. It looks like it's one of those like top half masks. The bottom half of your mouth or bottom half of your face is exposed. It only covers your ears, your head, and it's got like these goggles on it.
It's like
this
big goofy eyes.
It's like a brown leather like pilot's cap.
It's supposed to look like I think it's called like World War I Ace mask.
And it basically like it looked to me like
giant handlebar mustache.
Yeah, the Red Baron is the first thing that popped into my head. So I referred to it as the Baron.
And Brian goes, "Hello, I am the Baron," and the character is born.
So we come up with this voice and we just start cackling over it, and we buy the mask, and then that's the first thing that we actually like shot together that was actual like shoot edit, somewhat story.
So these things would be about 20 to 30 minutes long, and it would always, like, generally the idea was we'd play the intro. In later episodes we'd start having running stories, so we'd play like a cold open like scene.
Yeah, like previously.
It was like behind the scenes, kind of like the Larry Sanders Show, where like part of it is the show and the other part is the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
we did it like that, and it would be, here's the cold open, here's the intro, which I don't even remember. I gotta find these. I don't remember how the original intro went, and then it would go into the Baron sitting on a couch, who would be like, "I am the Baron. Ha, now I'm here with my guest," and we'd always get somebody different or have them play somebody different.
Yeah.
And Chad was the first guest on the first episode of the Baron, where you were brought in, and I don't know how much detail I'll go into about what you talked about, because nowadays. We
could say it because it's so like far removed.
Well,
and, like,
let me explain it in very cold terms, which is that by the end, the Baron has revealed that it was you who were behind the 9/11 attacks,
which was kind of rough considering they had literally happened
a year earlier.
Not even.
Yeah, it would be this. This was summer 2002. So yeah,
6-7 months had passed. But we were also we were trying to do like,
we weren't making fun of the attacks. We just thought it was funny that Chad was revealed to secretly be a conspirator.
Yeah, exactly. all that was that's the thing. The gag is that like it's not so much that like we're saying that this guy was
kind of like, you kind of implied you didn't mean it. It was an accident.
Yeah,
I made a few phone calls and oops.
No, it was more about it was the idea that like. This random guy.
It was clearly, like high school, college age.
This guy. Just this.
Very unassuming. Who comes in for an interview on a show.
This 18 or 19-year-old guy is just like, I'm going to make a few phone calls and have this thing done that impacts the world.
And sort of like, I didn't mean it, like type of attitude. But then the Baron, you run out and the Baron chases you.
Yeah.
And that's when we get
now it's established that I'm the villain.
Yes. So Chad is the villain. And Brian chases you, and we went around my whole neighborhood just filming you guys firing at each other.
Yeah, basically what we wanted to do is just shoot a Hollywood action scene.
Yeah, just for fun. We were like, let's do a little chase scene.
Had did we have fake guns or were we using? Okay, we had fake guns.
Brian was using my old like pirate. It was like a replica of an old like 1700s gun.
Yeah, that
was great.
And we basically just ran around the neighborhood doing this action scene. And then
which nowadays we get the cops called on us, but
but nowadays I feel like we would also like go knock on some doors and be like, hey guys, we're gonna be shooting a little thing right here.
I do remember it eventually ended up at the basketball court and tennis court.
Yes,
that was down in
with the kids watching us.
Yes, the kids who are in the end credits because they started being like, "Hey, I'm in a movie." Yeah,
which is one of the things like
those kids are 20 years older.
I remember
those kids are 20 years older. They were like 10, 11, so they're like 30 now.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fucked up.
I wonder if they have. I wonder, like, because like I remember some random shit from my life, stuff that's just like, I remember that time that guy did that thing. I wonder if any, like, either I think it was 3 kids,
two, yeah.
I wonder if they have any recollection of that.
I don't know, but yeah, I do remember. Do you remember what we did because we wanted to get Chad. Basically, this whole thing was done to get Chad to become the new sidekick by the end and to have you in the luchador mask.
Yes.
So at the end, Brian shoots you and you go down. And do you remember how we explained this away? The fact that we had no makeup for a gunshot wound on your face. We shot you on a right angle. Just the left side of your face. And you go, ow! You shot the right side of my face!
Oh, did I?
Yes. It was so good. And then Brian comes up and it looks like he's gonna finish you off. And then instead of pulling out the gun, he pulls out the mask. And you pull the mask over your face. And that's how you became the luchador, Chad. And then, we ended up doing in total... 9 episodes, and the 9th is a very rare one because it only exists on VHS and that one DVD. Actually, was it even on that DVD? I feel like something happened.
Well, that was the one that I came back for because I didn't. I didn't do like the 2 prior to that.
No, you did. You missed one episode. You missed the one with Kurt, which is the one nobody can ever see because Kurt's a maniac, offensive maniac. And even at the time, I remember being like, I feel kind of uncomfortable about this.
Yeah.
But no, that was all because Brian brought over an episode of The Baron, I believe, to show at your house, when you still had your bedroom in the basement.
Yeah.
And it was like not playing well. And he was like, no, let me go get a better copy of it. And you were like, Brian, it doesn't matter. Let's just watch the episode. And he's like, no, you have to turn. And he got all like flustered with you, like saying like,
oh no, I remember. It was me, Brian, and our buddy Joe. Joe was there.
Okay.
Joe was there. Joe, who eventually went on to kill a man.
Yeah. Justifiably. I thought
the circumstances shouldn't have been happening in the first place.
Self-defense during a crime.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't remember what the step-by-step lead up to it was. But Brian, I'm not a physical person. I don't impose myself physically on anybody. I'll scare people to get out of physical altercations at all. Just because I might hurt somebody. I'm a big guy. I'll probably hurt somebody. 2, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Brian has a way of getting under your skin.
Had a way. He's definitely
Brian had a way of getting under your skin that it was just grating.
He was very hyper. But he really wanted his way.
And nasally.
You're right.
It's not so much what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. And you're just sitting there going like, oh my God, I can't listen to this. I can't listen to this.
This is fucking ridiculous. You cannot watch it like this. We have to watch it like that.
And making these big deals about nothing. And it basically was just me telling him to stop and then shut the fuck up. And he wouldn't.
Yep.
And so I think he was in my face, like yelling at me. And I put my hands under his armpits, lifted him up, and threw him into my wall. So Brian's not a big guy. I am a big guy.
Yeah. Brian was a beanpole, essentially.
He's tall. He's
tall.
Not much. He's only maybe an inch or two shorter than me. He's like 5'10",
He's tall, but he basically cannot gain weight.
Yes,
like,
he is a scrawny person.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't, after me telling him to stop multiple times, I literally, like a child, put my hands under his armpits, lifted him, and just went, Yeet! And slammed him into my wall. Mm-hmm. And he just looked mortified and stormed out of my house saying, we'll see who's in the Baron now.
Yeah, that's what I got to hear about after the fact.
I was like, okay, I don't care. Get the fuck out of my house.
Now, of course, that is an important moment because at the time he was still the thread that was getting us in the same place.
Yeah.
Like we hadn't hung out without him at that point.
It's true.
And, obviously, eventually fences were mended, and we got to do a final episode.
Like a few weeks later.
Yeah, and we did a final episode where you came back, and then that was it. And then we started doing just normal videos, regular stuff.
It was after the Baron, it was mainly just you and me.
Well, no, because there was a little bit of a time.
There were a couple things he would pop in and out of, but...
Well, he was in season 1. To some degree. He was in troll videos.
Troll.
He did the Mr. Barker stuff.
Countdown to Doom. No, that was Jim.
That was Jim. He was here and there.
But here and there. But I think after the Baron,
$1 Million Kill. That was the end of season 1.
I'd be curious as to when you and I first were like, you know what? Why don't we just... We don't need Brian right now. We could just do this.
So I believe it was the summer between my freshman and sophomore year of college where... Because remember, we shot $1 Million Kill during my freshman year of college.
Yeah. And Countdown to Doom. Film fights. Because we shot that on your...
That was 03. Yeah. You're right.
Oh, wait, no.
No, we shot that at Kristen's.
We did. That was Kristen's.
But
different.
It was 2003, though.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. So, yeah, 03 was considered our season 1 for just doing normal videos. And, yeah, so at some point in 04, Brian he had a major drug problem. Got into... I think it was pills at first, and then there was heroin, and like it's a common story around here. We were basically the opiates capital of the world for a while. Still are definitely up there.
Yeah, the amount of people from my, if not graduating class, at the very least the people that I went to school with, whether they were ahead of me in the school or in my grade, the amount of people that died young, is crazy.
It's like your class was cursed.
100%.
There were so many.
Like with my freshman year. There was this kid who Brian would always make fun of him after this.
Yes.
But this kid, Shane, who like Shane was this like small, a little arrogant, but small kid that was in the popular crowd. but liked me for some reason. He liked to draw, so he and I in our homerooms would draw pictures together. Accidentally killed himself.
Yeah.
Well, all right. To be fair, the thing that I heard, we don't know this for certain.
Let's see if it's the same, because I also heard stuff.
The thing that I had heard was that he had issues. He had like
very depressed.
Yeah, he had depression issues, anxiety issues, and was medicated for it. But I guess his parents had gotten into some big fight, and he wanted to like scare them
into being like, oh no, put your attention over here on your sad child.
And he basically tied a noose around his neck in his closet and lost his footing on what he was standing on.
Skateboard is what I heard. I heard 2 skateboards.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, poor choice.
Yeah.
Poor choice of thing to stand on.
But to be fair, honestly, how it happened, nobody knows.
That's all I ever heard.
That's all we ever heard.
It's sad.
But yeah, that was my first young person's funeral.
Yeah.
And wasn't my last.
Yeah. God.
Yeah.
That's
and it's great. Like, it's not even like, it's not that I hung out in groups of people that you would expect. Cause like, he wasn't somebody that I hung out with.
No.
But it's not people that were directly in my vicinity, but the amount of people that I just knew of.
Yes. And even me by proxy through you guys
was crazy.
Hey, Jared, who died? But what? Another one? Well, because and hell, even the people who you kind of wish died, one of them.
Oh yeah. I won that fight.
You won that fight.
That's true.
We talked about that on one of our.
Actually, probably that was literally last year.
Videos. That we did. But if you want to hear more about that, you let us know in the comments. Anyway, but yeah, so it was during that, as somewhere in 2004 was where Brian was just not around. When we would see each other, it'd mainly be like Applebee's, and Brian would show up at like the end of the night, completely messed up, where everyone's looking at him like, oh, we don't want him around. And that's where we kind of had to have that moment of like, I guess we got to keep hanging out and making stuff, huh? And we're like, yeah, okay. And then that's how it really, so really in 2004 somewhere, that's where things really began. And that's where honestly quality went up too.
Oh, 100%.
We started caring about quality a little bit.
Well, we wanted to make miniature movies.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much we want to make this funny thing now. We wanted to make them more cinematic in just tone.
Which people didn't do then. No. Like nowadays, everybody knows everything about filmmaking.
Yeah, but even still, like I watch stuff now. When I watch short comedy stuff now, it's not quite the stuff that we were going for.
No, I understand.
We legit were trying to make things kind of look like a film.
Yeah,
we didn't have the quality wasn't there simply because like the equipment wasn't there at the time for consumers.
I would say it's more just that everybody else was making amateurish stuff. Like if you were to get a bunch of people, like this happened I had a film class in my sophomore year of high school, and all the kids were like, he was like, you're all going to make your own movie. And they were all like, oh, how do we do that? And everything everybody did was set up a camera, have like 3 people sit there and say things to each other on one shot. And of course, our group, because I'm the guy, I'm like, all right, I'm on the camera. I got actual shots. I edited it like a real movie, and people were like, what?
You know what you would see in our stuff that you would not see in... Now, you can see it more so now because it is more of a known thing because people are more aware of filmmaking.
Right.
But late in, early out with dialogue. In a conversation or even just cutting dialogue and not just having a camera on you while you're talking.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well, late in, early out is like coming into a scene as it's happening.
Yes.
But also just when you're like actually shooting dialogue and showing, if you look at old amateur stuff, cameras on this person, they're talking. When they're done talking, cut to the other person, they're talking. Where we would have, we were the only people our age shooting something where you're talking and then it cuts to me for my reaction as you're still talking, and it starts to look like an actual film.
Yeah. And then luckily, see, like early on, we did have a little of that, but that's because of the early timeline editing. I started editing our stuff in Pinnacle Studio and had to export to VHS. So it wasn't the best.
Well, I think what it has to do with
it was a little linear.
It's not so much like the capability as it is the intention. Most people are just like, oh, we want to shoot this funny thing with our friends. Whereas you and I are like, all right, we want to make films.
Yeah.
And we have to learn how to make films. So let's learn how to make films. Mm-hmm. And that's where we learned how to act and direct and light and write and everything.
Yeah. And it's weird. Like we haven't done anything in so long, and it's just like,
yeah. Well, now it's the point where it's like we could do like silly little things here and there, but I feel like we with what we have now, especially with the equipment that you've kind of been accumulating,
yes, over the years,
like we can 100% throw a film together.
Yes, I know. We definitely can.
And now it's just a matter of like trying to find the right thing to like dedicate the time to.
Yeah.
But finding the time to dedicate it to.
Yeah.
Or to dedicate
we had all
it.
kinds of time back then, even when we had our jobs.
God. Imagine having this equipment then.
Oh my God. Well, see, that's what kids now have.
I know. It's not fair.
God, I remember having to beg and plead for my first really good quality camera.
And I remember just having to wait for you to get that camera. Because I was from a family of little means. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, you're also from a massive family.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas me, it's just me.
Oh, yeah.
So like, that also helped. Yeah. It's where it's just like, please get me this thing. I'll pay you back one day.
Yeah.
I might pick up my wink.
They can hear it, I think.
Good. Actually, to be fair, I did eventually pay back. It just took a lot longer than I originally said I was going to. I'm trying to think now. Oh, you had mentioned how you guys used to go around with the cameras, sometimes without, but there was a lot of times where you had the camera out and were recording yourselves while you had your days off from school.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my first big projects,
taking all my nonsense and trying to make sense of it.
You gave me all your VHS-C tapes, which I then took with me to college and edited together. And there's some really funny stuff on that thing. There's stuff I still think about to this day.
Stuff that we can never show.
Well, some stuff we can't show, but like that I know. But there's stuff like Brian. There's something funny to me about the way Brian pulled up alongside that one car of people I guess you guys knew, and he was like, "That guy over there, you see her? He fucked her. He fucked her with a cactus. He fucked her with a cactus."
I can't remember why that happened. I'm pretty sure I remember who one of the girls in the car was.
I just remember him going, "He fucked her with a cactus. What the fuck?"
Oh wait, no. That was a different. No, I don't think we knew them. Those were strangers.
Oh, I thought you guys just were people you knew from school. Oh.
No, I didn't know them. I think Brian said he did, but I don't think he really did. And it was a reference to something that had just been said. We had been just joking about something, and then I think it came up like, how funny would it be if you said that to these people who have no idea the context? And he just pulls up next to this car and just starts screaming at them at a red light at Brick Plaza.
No. And it was over by the... I even remember what turn you guys were on. No, it was... It was at the end. It was at the end of Drum Point, that kind of where if you want to make a left, you got.
Are you sure? Because I almost.
Oh no!
No, it was at Brick Plaza.
It was over where the old Mongolian Grill used to be.
Yeah, ShopRite. Yeah, we were leaving. Okay. We were leaving the plaza, so we were at the light.
Oh, all right, okay.
To get out of the plaza to go back onto the main road.
I see. Okay.
And as we're stopped next to this car, Brian just starts going, "He fucked her! He fucked her with a cactus! Look!"
But what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like he was so offended at what this guy had just done.
And they were just kind of like not, they had no idea what was going on. And then we just went our own ways.
Do you remember? I think it was on those tapes, because I'm pretty sure I wasn't there, but I think
Kurt?
Maybe I was there. Was the thing with Kurt, with the woman that was smoking?
You weren't there.
No.
No, that was me, Kurt, and Brian, and that was on our way to the Ocean County Mall.
Was that?
More of that happened. That I remember. So when I had mentioned my memories not being great,
right?
There are certain memories I have, core memories, if you will, that will never leave me.
Yeah.
And that day, I remember the visuals of every single thing that happened. The guy in the business suit that chased us in the parking lot.
I don't know about this. You can't tell me about this.
It's on video.
Which is it? So, not in that video.
So that day started with us going to the mall. And on the way to the mall, there was a woman walking down the street who was smoking a cigarette.
It's one of my favorite things I've ever seen, because you're slowly, not slowly, but like you're just passing by this woman smoking.
There was a red light, so we were
no,
there's traffic.
Not yet.
There was traffic, so we weren't going very fast. There's a woman walking alongside the road.
Yeah, in the same direction that their car's going. And as you guys pass her, your cars are still moving. Kurt just goes, "You're gonna die with that cigarette.
You should be smoking that thing. It's gonna give you cancer." And
then you hit a red light.
And no. And then he says, I'm only just giving sound advice. And then we go, and then there's a red light, and we're like, oh my God.
And she walks by.
She's going to walk by.
And do you remember him going?
It's the funniest.
He goes, no. Do you remember the calm 100%. Before the storm? The calm before the storm when he just goes, yeah, hi, how's it going? And she passes by.
Oh no, that's when he says, I'm only just giving sound advice.
Yes, I'm just giving sound advice.
Oh, hi. I was only just giving sound advice. And then she goes ahead of us, and then we have to pass her a third time. And then as we're going by, Kurt, all right, keep in mind, folks.
It's one of my favorite things I've ever heard.
Kurt was a monster.
Yes. And looked like one.
And it was more so like, I'm not laughing at like this poor woman who's getting harassed. Yeah. I'm laughing that any of it is happening at all. It's one of those like, you can't believe what's happening because it was so perfect. So as the light turns green, we have to drive past this woman again. And Kurt has this sound to his voice that just
it's very like this.
It's very cartoon villainish.
Yes, he would always talk to people.
He sounds like he would have been like a Captain Planet bad guy.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
And we drive past this woman, and he just pokes his head out the window and goes, "It's me again, you fucking idiot!
It's me again, you fucking idiot!"
And then we just go. Now, what I don't think you recall is that right after that, we pull into the Ocean Canyon Mall, and Kurt has bottles of water with him.
See, no, that's just the footage that I got. I didn't. If there was more footage, I didn't have it.
Yeah, well, no, this is part of the video that you edited.
Is it? I don't.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't see all of what happens.
Oh, right.
Because Kurt does something. Kurt had these bottles of water, and he just wanted to splash it on people, and I'm like, oh my God! All right. Yeah. And I'm recording the whole thing. I'm in the back seat with a camera.
You're just documenting.
That's all I did.
Yeah. That was my old excuse.
At one point, he splashes an old woman just walking out of the mall, and I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? And then there's this guy walking to his car in a business suit, just fully kitted out, tie and everything, and Kurt splashes the fuck out of him, like a 1 liter bottle of water, and he just guy gets doused. Turns and starts sprinting at us, and Brian just goes, "Ah!" and starts driving away, and Kurt's like, "Ha ha ha!" like Joker laugh, yes. And I'm just like, "What the hell?"
Kurt is the closest thing I've known to a real life Joker.
Yes, 100%.
For sure. You actually just reminded me of another thing. I know we're running a little low on time.
Yeah, I've got to get going soon.
Okay.
We can always do a part 2.
We are definitely
we'll do more podcasts, but we could actually continue this because
we should do this at least once a week. This is fun. We keep this going, and we'll eventually get a real video set up and everything. Maybe we'll eventually convert that shed.
Maybe we'll eventually start talking about things. Who knows?
Yeah. But no, real quick, that did just remind me of the time where I was that person recording, and it was when we went to King of the Ring 2001. So we were on our way back, and we were at the Cheesequake rest stop up near Middletown, and there we go into the rest stop. It's middle of the night because it's a post show. It's like midnight, something like that, maybe later. And there's very few people around, and I've got the camera. And Kurt was driving, but Brian was like, "Me and Kurt we're gonna figure out something to do. You go pull his car around and wait outside." And we'll do something. We're gonna come, and you just gotta get us out of here. I was like, okay. And so I'm like, all right. So I leave the camera with him. I go get his car, pull it around. I'm waiting there. All of a sudden, I see the two of them sprint out at full speed, and Kurt's going, "Get in the car! Get in the car!" But there's a madman on the loose. There's a madman on the loose, and I'm like, oh my God! And then they jump in, and I speed off, and they wouldn't tell me what happened. They were like, you just have to watch the video when you get home. So. The two of them go, as I'm watching the video, I hear myself leave. They're like, "Go pull the car around." Okay, I'm gone. And they go into one of the restrooms and they start talking, like by the entrance to the restroom. And they're like, "All right, so maybe I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna scream whatever it was he wanted to do." And then this guy passes by them, and like says something like, "Hey," and Kirk goes, "Oh, hi, yeah, hey." And guy's like, "Have a great night." They're like, "Okay." And the guy walks past them, and as they're about to start talking again, you hear that guy who just walked around the corner, "Now go fuck your mother!" And he starts punching and throwing a garbage can all around the fucking bathroom. And he's like, "Ah! Ah!" And he's screaming. And you just see, we gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta get the fuck out of here. And that's when I hear them running out, and it's on the camera. Then we have a madman on the loose.
That just made me think of the McDonald's story, which we've told before. But
which one?
Me, Brian, and Kurt at McDonald's, and Brian goes to the bathroom, and Kurt and I are just sitting there, and we had already eaten our meal and everything. And there's this woman with her baby. And the baby's like, I'd say maybe a 1 or 2 year old, but they're like being very fussy, crying, just being like an issue for this mother.
Yes.
And Kurt, staring at me, just goes, "Would someone shut that fucking kid up?" And I'm like appalled. I'm like, what the fuck have you done?
Yeah.
And then you just hear this woman go, "Who said that about my baby?" And Kurt looks at me and goes, "We must leave." Yeah. Brian starts coming out of the bathroom, and Kurt just goes, "Come on." And we walk out, and Brian's like, "What happened?" And I explain it, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" And we just zip out of there. And that's the last I saw of it. But seeing somebody do that with... it's one of those things where, like, I feel like everybody probably has that thought in their head. Yeah. And it's not that, like, this baby's being annoying, but it's that, like, how funny would it be if somebody just lashed out? And Kurt was the person that didn't have the thing to go, "No, you can't do that."
Yeah,
that wasn't there. No. Kurt had no. It's not that he didn't have a filter; he had no governor.
Right.
He had nothing to. He had nothing to adjust the throttle. Mm-hmm. It would just go.
Yep.
And you just had to. You either had to like get the fuck out of there or just hold on.
And when you're like, especially back then, pre social media, it was. Yeah, it was so funny.
It's like the Wild West.
It was so funny back then to be around 100%. Somebody like that. Then you hit like 20 and you go like, I don't know if I want to be around this person.
If I saw that from afar now.
Oh, yeah, from afar, I'd be like, what?
Nobody getting hurt.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing that happened. I would die laughing inside. Yeah. And then I would laugh while I left.
Do you remember what he wanted to do for a living?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Politician. That was what he would tell everybody. I'm gonna go into politics. I mean, he meant it. He knew a lot about politics.
He did. No, he was a very, very smart person.
When you talk to him as just a normal guy, very smart.
Yeah, crazy.
But it's like, oh, cameras around, these people are around, time to be crazy.
Yeah, it was unsettling.
Yeah, and eventually, he also had his own issues. Cocaine, if you can believe that.
Like he needed it.
God, yeah, him plus... I still remember Brian's stepmom one day telling us, because we had gone out and we came back, and she was like, "Yeah, Kurt just walked by." And we're like, "Oh, wow, we haven't seen him in a bit." She's like, "Yeah, he walked by, and I waved hello, and he saw me, and he just took off running down the street." I was like, "Yeah, that sounds about right."
Isn't that what we based the one shot off of in the video where Brian's pacing back and forth in front of the mailbox?
That's right, we did.
Because Brian said that they said that they had seen him walking in front of the house.
Yes.
And then he walked to the end of the street, and then they saw that it was him.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Man. All right. Well, here we've been talking for a good hour. We'll do this again for sure in the future, but we're back.
But yeah, we're just we just kind of wanted to reminisce over the last 20 years or so. So yeah, that'll take another 6 or 7 episodes.
Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus is the series we recorded. It'll be starting up pretty soon. I already got a couple edited. I just want to get them all done first, and then I'll put them out there.
Yeah.
And then so look.
You know what I'm most excited about? Mm-hmm. When the hell's the new Cuphead DLC or Cuphead expansion?
June or July. So that we're definitely doing right away.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. We have to do it on hard mode, of course.
Yeah. No, we're doing it. Is it DLC or is it a standalone game?
It's DLC. It's a whole new island.
I'm wondering if they'll let us do the expert mode on it.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Or or if you have to unlock expert for that as well.
Well, we'll find out.
I hope not.
But either way, I maybe if it's an extension of the normal game, then hopefully that means we could do expert. Well, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody.
We should do a react episodes to the show.
To the show.
Cuphead.
Oh, I would just like doing react. We talked about it. Doing react in general would be great. I really got to start focusing on turning that shed out back into close it up.
A little studio.
Yeah. That would be a great place to do it.
It really would. It's perfect.
Yeah. You guys, anything you guys want to know, let us know down in the comments. Ask questions, because when we record another one, we'll have those. That'll be good to have.
Or if you have any games that you want to see us tackle in the coming months, we've got a couple ideas for things, but I mean, I'm sure you guys have some good ideas too. I don't know.
Or just say hi,
Yeah, I mean, we like hellos.
All right, Chad's got to get running, because again, he is a person with a life now.
I have to go pick up kids.
Yeah. And we'll see you guys whenever we see you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.